the next morning we took off and headed south toward Ryoga-Shakos.
As we started to head south, it became cold and wet and rainy. We have to put bags over our feet, inside our shoes. All of our waterproofs were pretty much failing again. It was really exciting. We reached the ferry to Tierra del Fuego. You have to hop back and forth across borders between Chile and Argentina a few times, and Chile is really picky about what you're allowed to bring into their countries.
It's delicious. Just eat all the lemons before you cross the border.
Literally like scooping honey out of a jar and just eating like a jar of honey.
I feel like I ate half of it an onion. I couldn't eat the whole thing. It was fucking gross.
I ate some bread and it tasted like it had gasoline spilt on it. You can't have this bread.
Fuck you, Chile.
We reached the border to get into Argentina and it was getting dark and we were looking around for a place to camp, but it's extraordinarily windy, like tent destroying wind. So the border guards kind of hushed us and told us to follow them, and there's a special place we could camp. They open up this back kind of waiting room and it is packed with backpackers pretending not to have a party. They tell us no drinking, no smoking, no being loud late up at night. And as soon as the door closes, just drinks come out of nowhere, smoking.
Arguably our best time at a border.
It was pretty funny as we were approaching Ushuaia, because I had been saying on the whole trip that I bought my bike in Alaska and all I ever wanted from it was to get me to the bottom to Ushuaia, and then if it was totally broken down and I had to push it into the ocean, that would be fine. Because literally we saw the sign for Ushuaia, rolled into town, and my bike shut itself off. We're in Ushuaia right now. We made it. And my motorcycle just died at the stoplight and it doesn't want to start again, so good work, Alaska to Ushuaia. I'm gonna go throw it into the ocean now. Just roll it right down there, just right off the dock.
We just kind of like pulled over to the sidewalk and put our bikes on the curb and laughed our asses off because we made it.
We pulled into Casa de Momo and met a whole bunch more motorcyclists from all over the world.
We immediately started celebrating. Everyone was drinking a ton of wine because a lot of people had ridden from very far away, and we're pretty stoked to have made it.
Everyone helped me fix my electrical and get my bike running again, and we went out for a ride near the end of the world.
We made it almost all the way to the very end of the gravel road, and it started raining, so we set up camp and had a barbecue. We made some amazing steaks in this rusty drum, watched the sunset. Some of the guys went off into the forest to grab us some firewood, and Matthew dragged a giant chunk of wood behind his KTM.
It's beautiful.
In the morning, we rode out to the very end of the road. Then we turned around to ride back to where the boat takes off to go to the Penguin Island, and Becky's bike took another shit. The electrical was not having it.
Andrea jump-started my bike a couple times, but my stator, or whatever the problem was so low that it wasn't even able to spark my spark plug once I was going, so we needed to have a constant power source. We're about to ride with our bikes connected, as retarded as that sounds, but Becky's electrical system is a disaster, so she's going to run her spark plug will not fire unless it's connected to my battery, so here goes nothing. We're going to try not to crash into each other.
We just rode next to each other for quite a few miles and eventually stopped to take a break, and my bike wasn't wanting to start anymore and I don't have a Kickstarter, so we decided we needed to really use a tow rope.
Okay, so stay to the fucking right side of the lane. Always, in the turn, stay to the right. Stay to the right, stay to the right.
After all of the electrical messing around and the towing, we camped kind of close by the spot where the boat takes off for the Penguin Island.
In the morning we started towing yet again to get to the boat ramp so we could go see the very famous penguins at the end of the road. And we were doing great until a very sharp turn to the left where the rope crossed over my front tire and I went down really hard, bending my handlebar.
Her handlebar was basically bent back all the way on itself. It was pretty ludicrous.
It had been fallen on a few times by that point, so I think it was weakened.
We got over to the boat launch and Matthew caught up to us. He was kind of keeping his distance in case we had any issues. And when he caught up, we realized it was because he found a bunch of really rad animal bones to put on my bike because he felt bad that Chile had taken my guanaco skull away.
Finally, we headed out to go see the penguins. They're awesome. There's a lot of them and 3 different types, including the emperor penguin.
He was huge.
Frano, who had been riding with us, like swimming in frigid waters for some reason, so he went for a dip in the penguin waters. After the penguins, we hooked up the tow ropes again and ended towing back about 70 miles back to Ushuaia.